everyone, and welcome to another video. It's been a while, but it's coming to the end of the year and I am going to be moving over from this bullet journal to another bullet journal, my 2018 bullet journal. I'm super excited to share this with y'all. But before we go into looking at my 2018 bullet journal setup, I want to go over some of the stuff I showed you in my student bullet journal setup for this one last time, because there were some things that I liked and some that I didn't, and lots of you have been asking me what I did with those and how they worked out, so let me show you those before I move into my new bullet journal. Last time I showed you that I was going to move over to a Calendex system to track my assignments that were due. This actually worked amazingly well. I loved it. I actually moved over to a Calendex system for my future planning completely, as you'll see in my new bullet journal. But this worked really, really well for those of you who asked me about it. It was super straightforward. I was able to track everything really well and it worked super great. My September monthly was fine. I realized that I like the blocks better instead of the traditional like bullet journal having one of these on this side, but it worked fine for me. This gratitude log for September was okay. I ended up moving back over to the normal gratitude log because I liked it a bit better, but this was something that just changed it up a little bit. And then my new dailies, which was something that all of you were asking about. Oh, and then the meals. I continue to do the meals throughout the rest of the school year, but I don't know if I like it very much. My dailies like this, I like them a lot. I actually, as you'll see in the future, I got rid of the water tracker because I would forget. But I really liked this because I was able to see 2 weeks at a time and I left myself enough space. As you'll see throughout this, I actually started using sticky notes as well to help me with future planning. Extra page. Then for October, I did this. The meals are over here. And as I said earlier, I moved back over to just a list gratitude log because that worked best for me. Then we have, as you can see, I got rid of the water tracker and I made the date or the events portion a bit smaller because I don't have a life besides school, so I didn't have a lot of like unschool related events. Moving on to November, it's pretty much the same. Then my December calendar spread, I moved back to the blocks because I realized that I really just like the blocks. Gratitude log, and this is where we are now. I have a little bit left in my bullet journal. This one, I'm probably just going to put like lists and to-dos in here, but with that said, this was it for this bullet journal 2018. Let's bring it on. So this is my bullet journal for 2018. My word of the year is Odyssey because this upcoming school year is my last semester of college, and after that I will be graduating, getting my first job, moving out of my parents' house for the first time, and having to like completely adult. So I'm gonna be going on like a super huge journey with like twists and turns and all that kind of stuff, and I was looking forever for my word of the year and I got the word Odyssey and it was perfect. The quote on here says, "The trip was to be an odyssey in the fullest sense of the word, an epic journey that would change everything." So I am hoping that this year to come is going to be an epic journey that will change everything. Probably will, because lots of things are happening. This is another Leuchtturm 1917 in dark blue because I wanted to like switch it up. This whole time that I was in my last Leuchtturm, I said that I was going to switch away from Leuchtturm, not because I didn't like it, but because I just wanted to switch it up, but I got scared and I knew what this one was, so I decided to move on with this one. So now let's go inside. One of the biggest things that I learned from my last bullet journal was that I don't really need the index. I don't really go back and look at past months or anything like that, and if I do, I just flip through it. So I kind of like jumped off of the bandwagon with the index, so I don't really index my stuff. That might change in the future, but I don't plan on using this index at all. The next thing that I changed a lot is that I'm not putting a key in my bullet journal because in my last bullet journal I had a key, but then I ended up changing the symbols, and I see myself doing that again many different times because I'll get tired of blocks and I'll move over to dots, and I get tired of dots and I move over to some different system, and I've just realized that I'm probably going to change forever, so just having one stagnant key just doesn't serve me in that way. So I don't have a key either, which might make some like avid bullet journalists like cry, but I'm sorry. So moving forward, on the first page of my bullet journal I have a highlights of 2017. I just have a whole bunch of stuff that I've done this year that made me really happy, that reminded me what I need to be grateful for this year. I still have a little bit of space, but I have not finished it quite yet, so I do have some stuff to add. As I was saying in my past bullet journal, the Calendex worked so well for me that I actually moved all of my year at a glance to a Calendex. If I bring out my past year at a glance, I did something like this, which I really liked, but I felt like I didn't have enough space. I didn't get to see all of the months in the way that I wanted to, so I moved over to this Calendex system, and I really like this. I'm excited to see what's going to happen and all that different kind of stuff with this. I feel like I need to add more decoration or something like that, or maybe a key up here of some sort, but this will evolve over the time that I'm in this bullet journal. So here is the rest of my year at a glance. Definitely needs some sprucing up, but I'll figure that out later. Over here I have my future to-dos, which I didn't set up right now because I don't have my sticky notes with me, but I will put sticky notes on top of each other so they're kind of layered so I can see the bottom, and then it'll be like January, February, March, April, May, blah blah blah, and I will be able to write any future to-dos that I need to do that I know of way far in advance. For my 2018 goals, I split those up into work and rest/play, because I'm going to hopefully be starting a actual like adult job. I am going to have a lot more goals for work than what I have right now, so I will be moving on with that. Before I go on, I should say that the majority of this bullet journal is set up with the inspiration of many other bullet journals, so if I did not have Pinterest or YouTube or follow like a whole bunch of stuff on Facebook, I probably would not have had the ideas for the bullet journal that I have now. Here is my year in pixels. I changed it up a little bit this year because the words that I had going on the side over here really didn't fit the way that I was feeling those days. So I changed this to something a little bit more straightforward. And then over here, I'm super excited because I have my monthly totals. So at the end of each month, I will be able to look at the number of each feeling I had each month, and then I'll graph it on here for each month, and then I'll be able to see like a little cute stats for how I felt each month. I don't know, I'm kind of nerdy and I really like looking at that kind of stuff. Moving on, we have, if I can turn the page, my 2018 books read. This is a lot more simplistic and minimalistic than it has been in the past, which I think is a theme through my bullet journal. This one, in comparison to my other one, I just don't have time to doodle and collage as much as I used to, so I went for a bit more of a minimalist thing. Here I'll write my book title and the author, the date that it was finished, and then I'll show how many stars I gave it with these cute little blocks. And I'm so excited to see what this looks like because I think it's going to be really sleek. I have my 2018 ABC Reading Challenge, where the title of the book has starts with each letter of the alphabet. I've done this for 2.5 years and I have not been able to finish this. There are too many books that start with the letter S. And then I have my 2018 Reading Challenge. This is the Pop Sugar Challenge. I've done this for 2.5 years and I haven't been able to finish it. I almost finished it this past year, but I'm in college and I just did not have time to seek out books. And then this is my movies to watch. I love this because each little block has a movie title in it, and then on the bottom I have a little key with colors for each level of stars. So then when I finish watching the movie, I'll color each one in with the number of stars that I'll give it. So I'm hoping that this will be able to motivate me a bit more to watch the movies that I have on my to watch list, because then I will also be able to color in these cute little blocks. And then on my movies watched, it's really similar to my books read, just the movie title, the date, and then cute little blocks for the stars. Then I have my YouTube tracker, which right now I just have one idea, which is something that one of you gave me. You want to see a video about my favorite movies. If you have any ideas or anything that you would like to see, please let me know, because I usually put them right onto this spread. Then I have my wish list, which has a want and a need side. I just wanted to separate these because, as I said, I'm going to be traveling into the land of adulthood at the end of this, and there are some things that I want, but there are things that I need a bit more, so I wanted to be able to see the differences between those. Something that I don't see in many bullet journals is the food I currently have, which is something that I made up because I'm the kind of person that I'll buy food and then totally forget that I have it and then buy the same thing again. So in my last bullet journal, I'll show you what it looks like every single time I go shopping. Like on October 20th, I wrote down everything that I bought and everything that I had left over from past shopping trips, and this is just so then at the end of each month I can go through and see what meals I can make based off of what I have before I buy more food. And so I have this open for me. I left a few spreads open for this because I know that I use this very liberally. Then I have my finance planning, which looks almost identical to last year. In my last bullet journal, I have my budget on this side, and then each month I write in how much I spent on that month, and I'm able to see how I did for my budget that month. On top of that, I have another thing that's kind of like my year in pixels, where each of the things that I have a budget on has a color, and I will be graphing it each month because I have this thing where I'll have a budget, but I have a really hard time following the budget and keeping track and making sure that I'm staying on track with it. So I'm hoping that this will be able to help me with that. And then we're moving right on into January, which is a lot more simple than it has been in the past. I really like the block calendar, so I moved back to the block calendar. And right now this is pretty empty because I don't start school until the 29th. This is pretty empty, but I'm sure February and forward is going to have a bit more on there. And then this really cute gratitude log that I saw from Pinterest, where someone made a cute little calendar for each day of the month, and I'm going to color in the tops of the calendars based off of how I'm feeling that day. And then you put your gratitude, the things that you're grateful for, right in this little block. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this, but I just thought it was so cute, so I'm gonna try it. Then for January spending tracker, it's almost exactly the same as the spending trackers have been in the past, but a thing that I added was my personal spending bar tracker and the needed spending bar tracker, because as I said, I have a budget for both of those, but sometimes I go over them. So after I log each of the things that I spend, I'm going to log them also on this bar tracker, so then I can see exactly what I'm spending my money on, and I'll have like a visual to see, oh, you're getting close to your budget. Do you really need to go out and eat that night? My January habit tracker looks almost exactly the same as it has in the past. And then that is it for January and for my new bullet journal setup. I don't even know if I'm going to have dailies in January because I do have, I don't have school until the very end of the month, and then I am going to be going to Greece. So that's all I have in this bullet journal right now. Stay tuned because I will be posting a video that is me walking through my teacher bullet journal, because I am going to be going straight into student teaching once I go back to school, and I made a bullet journal specifically for that. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned because I will be posting that in the next couple days. If you have a bullet journal, please comment down below, tell me what you think, tell me about your bullet journal, how it's the same, how it's different, and if you've made a video, please link it down below because I would love to see what your BuJo looks like. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful, bliss-filled day. Bye!